Goodness. All right, this continues our review. Number 10. A ship's sonar finds the angle of depression to a wreck on the bottom of the ocean is 13.2 degrees. If a point on the ocean floor is 75 meters directly below the ship, how many meters is it from that point on the ocean floor to the wreck? So let's draw a picture. So we have our ship. And then we got a spot directly below the ship, 75 meters away. And then there's a wreck. So I'll mark it with an X. From the ship to the wreck, there's an angle of depression. So on the depression picture, I remind you to probably draw a rectangle. And then your angle of elevation. And then you can draw your angle of depression. They're on two different sides of the line, or the diagonal. And we know what that measures. It's 13.2 degrees. So this angle is 13.2, and this angle is 13.2. And we're looking for how many meters from the ocean point on the ocean floor below the ship to the wreck. So this side of the triangle is X. So we can use tangent from the angle of elevation, because we have 75, which is opposite, and X, which is adjacent. So the tangent of 13.2 degrees is equal to 75 over X. So I'm looking for a side. And now X is on the bottom. So we're going to simply switch places with X and tan. So we would have X is equal to 75 over tan of 13.2. And this means we're going to divide 75 by tan of 13.2. And it can be done in one step on your calculators. And you get roughly 319.8 meters. So G is our answer choice. Number 11 wants us to find x to the nearest tenth. X is a side. So my angle is down here in the corner. It's across from x, so x is opposite. And 10 is the hypotenuse. So I can use sine. The sine of 36 degrees is equal to x over 10. And now I put sine of 36 over 1. And we cross multiply. So I would have x is equal to 10 times the sine of 36. So that would give us about 5.9. So B is our answer choice. #12 would like for us to solve for x and y. It only highlights one angle, and I'm going to use this one angle to answer both questions. X is opposite of the angle, 26 is the hypotenuse, and y is adjacent to the angle. So if I'm going to start with x first, I would have to use opposite and the hypotenuse, so that means I would use sine. So the sine of the provided angle, 39 degrees, is equal to opposite x over hypotenuse, 26. So if I cross multiply, it would give me x is equal to 26 times the sine of 39. Now before I grab my calculator, I'm going to set it up for y next. Since y is adjacent to the angle, and I still have the hypotenuse, that means I would use cosine this time. And put y over 26. And cross multiply, and you would get y is equal to 26 times cosine of 39. So now in my calculator, when I hit type in 26 times the sine of 39, I get 16.7. I'm sorry, 16.4. And then on your TI 89, all you have to do is hit second enter and change it from sine to cosine. Or retype it again, 26 times the cosine of 39. And you would get roughly 20.2. So the answer would be F. Number 13, a truck is at the top of the ramp as shown. Approximately how high above the ground is the truck? Round your answer to the nearest tenth of a meter. So we're looking for this height. Oops. Here, which we can drop it down on this side to form a rectangle, so it would be the same thing here. So in perspective of the 23 or 33-degree angle, we have the opposite side and the hypotenuse, so we use sine. So the sine of 33 degrees is equal to x over 9. So when we cross multiply, x would equal 9 times the sine of 33. And you get roughly 4.9 meters. 14. In triangle DNX, D is the right angle. So let's draw this triangle. Where D is the right angle. Tangent of N is 24 over 7. And again, tangent by definition is opposite over adjacent. So that means this is your opposite side and this is your adjacent side coming from angle N. So opposite of angle N, I'm going to label 24, and adjacent, I will label 7. We have to find the sine of x. In order to find the sine of x, we need to know what the hypotenuse is. So we use Pythagorean's theorem. 7 squared plus 24 squared is equal to c squared. 74 squared is 49. 24 squared is 576. add those two together, you get 625. And you take the square root of that. You get 25 for C. So if we're going to find the sine of x, it would be opposite of x and the hypotenuse. So x is in this corner and opposite of x is 7. So it's 7 over 25, which is F. Number 15 would like for us to find the perimeter of the triangle. I need to know what this side is and this side in order to do that. So I'm going to use trig to find those sides. If I'm looking for x first and the provided side, I have the opposite and the adjacent. So I would use tangent to find x. So the tangent of 59 is equal to x over 31. So cross multiply, and x is equal to 31 times tangent of 59. And then you would multiply those together. I'm going to set up y now, and then put everything in the calculator in one motion. So for y, I would use 31 as adjacent, and y as the hypotenuse. So I would use cosine. So the cosine of 59 is equal to adjacent, which is 31 over y. So since y is on the bottom, I need to switch and divide. So y is equal to 31 divided by cosine of 59. Now I'll do x first. 31 times tangent of 59. And I get roughly 51.6. And now we're going to find y, which is 31 divided by cosine of 59. And that's roughly 60.2. Now to find the perimeter, I need to add up all three sides. So 60.2 plus 51.6 plus the given 31 is roughly 142.8. So C is our answer. Number 16 says, a person in an apartment building sights the top and bottom of an office building 700 feet away. The angle of elevation to the top of the office building is 34, and the angle of depression to the base of the office building is 47. How tall is the office building? So, all right, I have my person. On top of a building who's looking at another building. So he has a line of sight with the top of the building and with the bottom of the building. So if I were to split it in half, you would have two triangles. His angle of elevation was to the top of the building was 34. So that's this angle here. This is 34. And his angle of depression with the bottom, which is this angle here, is 47 degrees. We know that the distance between his apartment and the office is 700. So that would be this side of the triangle. We need to know what the opposite side of each angle is in order to answer the question. And we're going to add those two sides together to get our final answer. So I'll call this X in the bigger one and Y in the smaller one. So to find X, I'm coming from the 47-degree angle. It's opposite and we have adjacent, so we use tangent. So tangent of 47 is equal to X, which is opposite, over 700. So that means X is equal to 700 times the tangent of 47. Let's set up for Y now. Y, you're going to use tangent again. So the tangent of 34 degrees this time is equal to Y, which is opposite, over adjacent, which is 700. So Y is equal to 700 times the tangent of 34. So let's grab our calculators to get those approximations. 700 times tan of 47 first is 750.7. And now we're going to control or second and enter. So we just need to change our angle to 34. And you get 472.2. And now we add those two together to get the total height of the building. And you get roughly 1,222.9. So if I rounded it up one more, it'd be 1,223. So G. All right, last question. Keith is standing on the ground exactly 1,063 feet from the Eiffel Tower. So here's Keith, and he's in front of the Eiffel Tower. He's 1063 away. His line of sight, so that's going upwards to the top of the tower, is 1852. Alrighty, so we're looking for the angle of elevation between Keith and the Eiffel Tower. So we're looking for this corner here. That's x. And we have the adjacent side and the hypotenuse, so we use cosine. So the cosine of angle x is equal to adjacent 1063 over hypotenuse 1852. And again, since we're looking for the angle, we have to use inverse of cosine to both sides to get x by itself. So x is equal to the cosine inverse of 1063 over 1852. And when you grab your calculator and type that in, you get roughly 54.97, which is 55-degree angle. So D. This concludes your review for your test. I hope this helped.